Hey everyone, and welcome back to another discussion day on Understandable English. On discussion days, I choose a topic and tell you all about it. While listening, you can learn some new words and vocabulary. Afterwards, I ask you some questions, and you can tell me your opinion about the topic in the comments down below. As always, I'll help you fix your mistakes. Today's topic is internet slang. Is it useful or not? Let's take a look. The internet is a crazy place. There are so many good and bad things about the internet. But if you are learning a language, like English, it can be a wonderful place to learn and interact with native speakers. But because they are native speakers, they often use all kinds of strange memes or slang or interesting vocabulary that you don't often see anywhere else. But the question is it worth learning? Should you worry about all these slang phrases and memes if you don't understand them? Well, let's take a look at some examples and see how useful they actually are. The first example is freedom units. Units are the way that we measure things. Normally you would use meters, centimeters, liters, things like this. This is the metric units. But as you probably know, in the United States, we have all kinds of crazy things like feet and yards, miles, gallons, and we are one of the few countries that uses these units. So because of this stereotype of American freedom, we sometimes call our units freedom units as a stereotypical ironic joke. So sometimes you might see, for example, on YouTube, someone write in the comments, "Can you please convert this to freedom units? I don't understand Celsius," for example, the temperature. Now, this is something that I see exclusively or only online. I don't think I've ever heard someone actually say this in a real conversation. So what do you think? Is it useful to know this? Let me know in the comments down below. The next example is go touch grass. We use this when we are telling someone to stop spending so much time on the internet or inside. We tell them to go touch grass or go outside, see the real world. Now, again, I have never heard this in real conversation or in real life. I've only seen this on the internet. So what do you think? Is it useful to know these things or not? The last one is Murica, which is just a short way of saying America. We use this in a very sarcastic way when we see something that is stereotypically American in a bad way. For example, very fat food or too many guns. Someone might say, Murica. This is them making a joke about how these things are very American. This example I have heard in real life, in real conversations, not just on the internet. Sometimes even I will make these jokes when I see something that's very stereotypically American. But are they worth learning? What do you think? Well, if you are just trying to pass a test, I think it's not worth your time to learn all of these things. You will never see something like this on an official test or any sort of exam. So it's not worth your time. If you are trying to learn to communicate with people and that is your goal, then this might be something to learn about. But we have often talked about active and passive skills on this channel. Active being writing and speaking, and passive being listening and reading. In my opinion, these slang words are more useful, but I would not recommend trying to use them yourself. But why not? Well, these types of slang phrases are very strange out of context. So if you accidentally use it in the wrong context, it can sound very strange or maybe even rude. You should be very sure how you are using these words to make sure you are not being rude. So what do you think? Is it worth trying to learn these slang phrases? Do you know any other examples of slang phrases that you've seen on the internet? Don't forget to write your answers in the comments down below. As always, I'll help you fix your mistakes. If you learned something new, feel free to press like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Understandable English. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Toodles!